kind of a couple minutes, introduce yourself, any background you think, is pertinent to the race, things we should know, make you qualify for the job you're seeking, and then we'll just do questions after that. Probably about 20 minutes of your time, so not too long. But yeah, any background, things we should know.
Well, actually, thank you very much for printing my editorial.
Sure.
That was great.
Sure.
And I think pretty much that says everything I would have to say about my candidacy.
Okay.
So I can start with your questions at any time.
Okay. Well, what's going on as you knock on doors and visit with residents and things like that? What are their concerns, complaints, maybe praises? What do they think's going on?
Well, the major concern is the reassessment. I mean, that's on everybody's mind, it seems. Mostly because we've gotten our reassessments in the mail over the past couple of years.
Right.
They're enough. I mean, you got to sit down and open up these things.
Okay.
And I've heard from senior citizens who just simply say, on fixed income,
right,
we're going to have to look at moving. I mean, if it gets much worse.
Mm-hmm.
And from a personal standpoint, me too. If I get one more assessment like that, I'm going to have to look at it because I can't afford to live here in Niagara County. A massage therapist doesn't make a whole lot of money.
Sure.
And
yeah, it's tough times. Yeah.
But these reassessments are being done by this outfit, GAR Associates, down in Alley from Niagara Falls. And I think a question on a lot of people's minds too is, does somebody from out of town really feel our pain? Or can they just blow into town and make these judgments and escape the heat from the locals? Right. So what I will do, and I can come to this decision only in the past couple of days, and I will work to move the reassessment responsibility to a local person. I just found out yesterday that somebody like Shirley Gregory Earl is just a couple courses away from her license to do this kind of work. I mean, why wouldn't we entertain that kind of approach?
Sure. And
I've crunched the numbers too. GAR Associates down Alley versus the previous Mr. Bradshaw.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit more expensive.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So where they thought they'd have savings, probably by the number of people in the office, they're still, the cost is still there with GAR plus Pinelli, so there's really no savings.
Correct.
Maybe the legacy savings if it's less bodies who work for Wilson as far as retirement on the line and stuff like that.
Well, actually, they've hired a new administrative assistant to the tax collector.
Oh, really? Okay.
A salary of $24,000, and that's not including benefits. And Mr. Jastrzewski sent out a town newsletter the other day, and when he was talking about the new clerk,
right,
he just said $24,000 and did not include her benefits. When he spoke of Mr. Bradshaw 2 years ago, he included benefits and it ended up being $47,000.
Right,
so it's really inflated on the one hand and deflated on the other to help bolster his case
right,
for the current situation.
Okay. All right. What else is going on out there besides assessments? Anything tourism-wise or development-wise, or what other things do you hear while you're out?
Well, certainly our waterfront is a huge resource.
Right.
And of course we have marinas with hundreds and hundreds of boats and yacht clubs and also Wilson Harbor. We already do a tremendous amount with our waterfront, but I feel that the beach being closed every summer from bacteriological contamination, that is something we can address. And I'm a Democrat, Governor Spitzer's a Democrat, Francine Del Monte's a Democrat, Louise Slaughter's a Democrat. All the stars are aligned to have a more balanced supervisor town board situation. And Kyle Andrews is a Democrat.
Right, so you have them all lined up. What is with, I guess we didn't ask Joe this, I didn't think of it because we get these press releases every summer with the beach opening, the beach closing, the beach opening, the beach closing. It's back and forth. It's scary. I mean, if it can open and close over the course of 2 days, what does that mean for the life of the summer? Or, a couple months, it just, I don't know how they can make that determination on a day's notice that it's not safe today, but tomorrow it's already. It's the same water, I don't know.
Like, is there testing that?
Yeah, exactly, right. So I guess what kind of research have you done to find that? You really don't know, you look into it, I guess, from what it sounds like, if you were to get into the position and...
I will immediately, the first week that I'm supervisor, I will send a letter to the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Conservation And I will outline the creek, the situation of the creek. I will
Right.
quote a few local fisher people, and I will, look into a multiple page letter
Right.
saying that we want action on this. Along with the creek. The creek is totally clogged with vegetation by late July.
Right.
And a fishing boat can't navigate up that creek.
Mhm.
And it's just a situation that I think if you saw the Buffalo News today, my vision has been co-opted by my
Right.
opponent. But I
Yeah,
really feel that I'm the one that came into this talking about these things.
sure.
And, it's interesting, he's talking about the master plan for Wilson. Well, he's been in office for 2 years, and this is the first we've heard about a master plan for Wilson.
Right.
What would your master plan process consist of?
Well, immediately, I would seek out money from, again, the usual suspects, from the Congresswoman and the Assemblywoman, to get money to do a master plan. By the way, I have for 10 years, every few years, I appear before the town board of Wilson at a meeting. They say, anyone want to say anything for the good of Wilson? I say, we have not had a master plan since the 60s. And the answer always is, we don't have the money to do a master plan. Wilson is probably one of the only towns in Niagara County without a master plan. Parks have master plans. I mean, it goes back to 1966. He was right about that. And I've seen it. It's actually in the library in Wilson, and it's a real screamer if you ever want to take a look at it. It's funny. It has
That's what I'm
a
saying, yeah.
Robert Moses Cloverleaf right there where Pfeiffer is.
Really? Yeah, wow. That's interesting. 1966, yeah. Okay. What's your thought on the 4-year terms?
I'm
Before you-
opposed to it.
Okay.
Absolutely opposed to it.
Okay. Why is that?
And this is just not some kind of challenger position because it sounds good and I don't think I'll get elected.
Right.
I'm totally opposed because I think government should be more accountable to that.
Right.
It's a local election. If this was a state or even presidential where they get out on the road, they invest millions of dollars,
Sure.
you look at shorter terms. But this, I don't think either my life or Mr. Jastrzemski's life has been disrupted by
Right.
an election. So to say, oh, well, I need 4 years to get my act together,
Right.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
You, Dan?
You talked a little bit about the tourism and the waterfront. Do you have any other ideas for bringing tourists into Wilson, or do you think pretty much the village is doing a good job, or the town is doing a good job now?
Well, I happen to have been a top aide to Paul Deister up to the primary, and after the primary, then I concentrate more on this. But, certainly Niagara Falls brings in millions of people, and anything that we would have good relations with the city of Niagara Falls. Literally, I can call Paul Deister right now. I have 4 phone numbers for him on my cell phone, and I have that kind of relationship with him going back for years. And certainly we can get a big boost out of interfacing with the city of Niagara Falls and steering people up to our direction and working with them. We have staffs of professional people in that
Right.
city,
Right.
working on these things. We have a tourism committee, which I don't know if they've met in many months, possibly years.
On the wind power, that's an issue that has been coming up with lakeside communities. Are you in favor of it? Wind energy?
I think I am, sure. You have to be sensitive to the aesthetics of it. I don't think anybody really wants to look out their window of their lakefront property and see these things, but I think global warming is an emergency. And when you look at the huge tax break we just gave AES, it's unconscionable that we're not looking at better sources of green energy.